Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a good week. Recovered from Thanksgiving and getting geared up for Christmas. I know I'm got a few days off this week. I'm trying to get my Christmas shopping over with, and it's terrible when you say over with, but doesn't it take a load off of you when you get it done? I'm not one to shop way ahead of time. So I'm in December usually trying to get done, but I've got an appointment in Jackson today, but I wanted to go ahead and get this recipe started for you. It's one of my favorite cookies. I like all cookies, but this might be up there amongst my top. This is an almond shortbread cloud is what I'm gonna call it. It reminds you of just a basic shortbread cookie. It's a cross between shortbread cookie, those Danish wedding cookies that you can buy in the store. These just melt in your mouth. You will love them. Try it. We'll start with 2 sticks of butter. I moved my, let me see if I can't. I moved my mixer over here to the island because this is a thicker dough, so I do bring out the KitchenAid for this one. So 2 sticks of butter into here. I've had this softened, and 4 tablespoons of sugar. I'm gonna get that all blended together and go in while we sift our flour. I don't know if you were counting, put a little over 4. I tend to do that for some reason because with things like sugar and powdered sugar and toffee bits, I think more is better. And get that all mixed up. And this has a lot of vanilla. I do like good vanilla, and I reserve it for some things that I know. Good vanilla is good all the time, but it costs more to buy pure vanilla. But this has 2 tablespoons, and this is me breaking out my good vanilla. And I found this on the sale rack, so I got several bottles of it's Nielsen Massey pure vanilla extract. It's good stuff. So I'm gonna get that all. I wanted to get this in the fridge. It has to get set. I want to cook it this evening when I get back home. I'm gonna sift 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Next, 2 teaspoons baking powder. And 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna sift that all together and then add it a little bit at a time to that dough. Did all of you who don't have a sifter get you one? I hope you did. Every time I see a sifter in the store, I want to buy up a few so I can pass them out. Alrighty. I'm gonna start adding my flour a little bit at a time. And you can do this with your hand mixer. You don't have to have a KitchenAid to do this. Like I said, I've done all these recipes without a KitchenAid. Just a little more elbow grease and a good stiff spoon. See, I just use a 1/4 cup measure. It kind of helps me control how much flour I'm putting in so that I don't make a big old mess. Okay, I got that all blended up. And next thing I want to do is get 2/3 cup of finely ground almonds. And I buy the sliced almonds. I think they grind up better than the slivered ones or the whole ones. And I want 2/3 cup. I'm about to go over to the food processor. They grind them up a little bit finer, but you don't have to have a food processor to do this. Like I was telling somebody at church last night, it was only this year. I didn't even remember, did I have a food processor? It's just not something I ever bought. I don't really know why, because they're not that expensive, but you don't have to have one, okay? What I did before, I would put these almonds in a bowl and use my hand chopper. It takes them a while to chop them up. I've also put them in a Ziploc bag before and taken a rolling pin and rolled over that bag to crush them up. I like to tell people this because you don't have to have a lot of fancy kitchen tools to make good food. Just wanted to throw that out there. But I'm gonna go over to my food processor and grind up 2/3 cups of these almonds, and we're gonna fold in that flour. I didn't let you see me off camera. I couldn't get the thing together. That is just so how not gadgety I am. We're gonna fold that in, and that is it. I had to take that off and just get the spoon out. Do you see how stiff that cookie batter? Next thing I'm gonna do is take some saran wrap, about that much, and I'm gonna lay it out and dump my dough on it. And I'll show you how I make a log with it. Because I wanna go in the refrigerator. I'm gonna just leave it all day. You don't have to leave it all day. A couple hours is usually all that I ever do. And that way it gets firm and I can slice it. I get my, instead of getting my hands, well, I guess I do need to mash it out a little bit more. Make it a little bit flat. And then I've got my saran wrap. It helps me keep my hands. See, I've got it all wrapped up and I'm not gonna get my hands quite as messy. And then I just squeeze it out into a roll. Yeah, squish the ends together and to the fridge till it is firm enough that I can cut it. Hey, I'm back quite a few hours later. So I had a super busy day, had quite a few things to do. So you don't have to leave them in there all day, but it is a nice thing about it. You can mix them up ahead of time, stick them in the fridge, and then pull them out and cook them. I have even put them in my freezer and just kept some in there for a great slice and bake cookie in a pinch when you needed to take a dessert somewhere. So that's a great little tip for you to remember. So I've got my cutting board out and I'm gonna slice them. I don't do them super thin, but not super thick either. About like this. And I've got a cookie sheet and wax paper on it. Now I do recommend wax paper for this, not just spraying a cookie sheet with nonstick spray, because this cookie is pretty fragile when it bakes and it crumbles super easy. So if you've got to work hard to scoop it off your dish, might not work good for you. So we're gonna cut these up and get them on our cooking sheet. So have you ever had a day where you looked at yourself or you did something and realized that you turned into your mother? That happened to me today, and I love it. You know, you young people, I do have some younger teenage girls in their 20s who watch me, and don't say you're not, because I promise you, you will start doing things like your mother. Let me tell you what I did. This is a makeup wipe removers. I just had to show you. Let's just tell you it all. So these are $5, and then you can get the refills to go in them. But this is when I realized I was like my mother. I've had this for years, and I just refill it because it's cheaper. There are some things I'm tight about and some things I'm not. But it stopped shutting. So instead of spending $5 more for a new box, I got a piece of tape and I taped my box down instead of buying another one. And that's when I realized I'm just like my mama. My mama, she has taught me so many things in life about hard work, and like I'll get emotional thinking about it because I don't know if I tell her enough just how much I appreciate the work ethic she's given me. And my brothers, I know when they watch this, they're gonna agree. I really never remember my mom missing work. She didn't call into work. And I just have loved doing these videos and reminiscing. I've remembered things that I had forgotten about. I'm on a cookie sheet. I'm gonna go in a 350 oven for about 20 minutes. Now I start watching it and looking at it at about 18 minutes because depending on how thin you slice it, sometimes it's random. And I've got thinner pieces than others, but when it starts getting too brown, you want it a little brown. You don't want it soft like you might like your chocolate chip cookies. But start watching it around 18 minutes. We just got our cookies out of the oven. So I was talking and not paying too much attention to how thick I got these, and some of them are too thick. So this is what you want. You want them to start turning a little bit brown around the edges. You're not gonna be able to see that good, but this is a perfect one. So they're still hot. So while they're hot, what I've done is put some powdered sugar, and while they're warm, do you see how I'm just rubbing it in that powdered sugar and holding it from the edges? I've learned they crumble if you just really pick it up not carefully, and sometimes I'll just sprinkle some on it. And some people will just dust powdered sugar on it, but I double coat these, setting it on some parchment paper, letting it cool. Then I'm gonna do this again So we're gonna, just like you double batter fried chicken for a better crust, we're gonna double sugar these cookies. You will break some along the way and have to eat them as you do this. No big deal, no judgment on my part. I'm just hoping I break one pretty soon. Also, are you noticing how I'm just picking these up off the parchment paper? Don't even need a spatula because okay, those have cooled, so I'm putting a little more powdered sugar on my plate. See how it absorbed a lot of the sugar? It doesn't stick really well if you don't coat it the first time while they're hot. So I'm gonna go back in and do another coat now that they're cool, and they'll stay looking just like that. And they will melt in your mouth. I should have looked in the mirror before I came and got on camera and make sure I don't have powdered sugar on me, because I may or may not have eaten a few. Don't wear a black shirt when you're eating these. You certainly can't be sneaky with it because you're gonna have powdered sugar everywhere. But that is how you make these. I hope you like them as much as I do. Enjoy.